What's going on, everybody? It's McPoon Football, and we are going to be doing my NFL 2023 Mock Draft 2.0. And in this world, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers is a Jet. He has been shipped to the Jets with the recent hiring of Nathaniel Hackett, with Robert Saleh saying he wants a veteran in the building. He has been shipped to the Jets for 2 first-round picks, including the number 13 overall pick in this year's draft. So we're going to play with that option. We're going to see how fun that's really going to be for the Packers, for the Jets. And honestly, I think it's going to happen in real life. So we're going to get into this thing. And at number 1 overall, we are going to have a trade. The Houston Texans will be moving up 1 spot and giving up 2 first-round picks in order to do so. But there's a good reason, man, that you got to make sure the Colts don't come on up, maybe the Raiders, maybe the Falcons, maybe the Panthers. So they're going to go get their guy. They're going to ensure they get their guy of the future. They're going to send the number 2 overall pick and a 1 next year. We're going to force that through. And the Texans are going to be selecting at 1. So they're actually going to go and grab Bryce Young at number 1 overall. So Bryce Young, yeah, he's a tremendous athlete. He's great under pressure, like remarkable under pressure. His pocket presence is unreal. He's got great accuracy down the field. He's got a good arm, not a great arm, but a good one. The knock on him is that he's undersized, but I think if you're an organization like the Texans, you just want to swing for the fences, get the upside there. So that's what they're going to do. Now at number 2 overall, the Chicago Bears are going to stay here. They're going to make their pick. I know a lot of people like Jalen Carter for them. Me, personally, I like Will Anderson Jr. a lot better. The thing is with Jalen Carter, it's like they say it's harder to find an interior defensive tackle that can have the same impact as an edge rusher would, and that is true, but I just value Will Anderson that much higher personally. I think he's an absolute stud blue chip prospect. I think the closer we get to draft day, the more people will be talking about him as such. I don't see why he shouldn't be talked about the same way Nick Bosa was, or Myles Garrett was, or Chase Young was, to be honest with you. I think he's that good. So I think the Bears would be foolish to pass up on that. Now at number 3, we're going to have another trade, and it's going to be another team moving up only 1 spot to grab the quarterback of their future. The Indianapolis Colts are going to come here. They're going to offer them the number 4 overall pick for the number 3 overall pick, and they're going to give them maybe the 35 and a third next year, and we're going to force that through. And the reason they're going to do that, of course, is again to make sure another team doesn't jump them for the quarterback they want, because the Cardinals are probably looking to trade down if the right offer is available, because they're about to enter a rebuild and they need whatever picks they can get. The Colts here, they're going to grab CJ Stroud. I've talked about this in my last mock draft. I really think Stroud is the guy for the Colts. I don't think they want anybody with any injury concern like Bryce Young. Otherwise, they might be more inclined to trade up to 1. I think that they feel they have a good enough team to go. I don't know if they really want to roll the dice on Will Levis or Anthony Richardson. And CJ Stroud is a good prospect on his own. He's accurate, strong, big, and fast. He needs to work a little bit on delivering the ball in pressure, but all these quarterbacks got to work on something, man. It's the NFL. And if the Colts feel confident that they can get those kinks out of him, yeah, this is a great pick. So at number 4, the Cardinals will stick here and they will select Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is a stud, of course. We all know it. I like to comp him to Chris Jones because he's a big dude, good against the run, but he really has that pass rush chops. He has game-breaking upside. And honestly, for a Cardinals team entering a new era that has not invested enough in the trenches, this is a great way to start it. So at number 5 overall, we got the Seahawks, and they are taking Myles Murphy. Myles Murphy is my clear-cut edge 2 in this draft. Some people like Tyree Wilson. I don't like him as much. I love Myles Murphy. He is a stud. He is a freak. He's more refined than Tyree Wilson, a little bit less athletic. I mean, they're both freak athletes. And to me, if you're the Seahawks, I mean, this is basically a free pick. You know, you didn't earn this pick. This is the Broncos pick. You have now the chance to get a top 5 pick at edge rusher. I mean, that's every team's dream. Every team wants a top 5 pick at edge rusher. It's a no-brainer. Uchenna Nwosu was pretty good, but he's not your future, honestly. And outside of him, they have nothing anyway. We know Pete Carroll wants to have a dominant defense, and a potential elite edge rusher is the way that you get that. At number 6 overall, the Detroit Lions. They will be trading down to number 9. The Carolina Panthers will be moving up for their quarterback of the future. So they'll give up maybe 39, maybe 93, maybe a 5th next year, I don't know. And they're going to come on up, and they're not going to come on up for Will Levis. No. They are grabbing Anthony Richardson, keeping him pretty local, and they are going to bet on upside here. Frank Reich had developed Carson Wentz. Now he's going to have to develop Anthony Richardson. For me personally, I have him above Will Levis. I don't see what the buzz is about Will Levis. Anthony Richardson is a better athlete and he has a stronger arm. Sure, they both struggled in college, but Richardson only played 1 year and he was actually being asked to run NFL type plays. So at least we know he can do that with some confidence coming into it. I don't mean to rag on Will Levis, he's a good prospect in his own right, but I like Anthony Richardson significantly better, and I think the Panthers should come on up here and take. Now at number 7 overall, we got the Raiders, okay? And the Raiders have a lot of options here, right? Honestly, they probably should go grab Will Levis right here, right? But I don't think they will. I think the Raiders are foolish enough to go grab Jimmy G and convince themselves they have some sort of window, because they were foolish enough to do that last year, right? They were foolish enough to grab Devontae Adams, grab Chandler Jones, and convince themselves that the horrible defense they had, the horrible offensive line they had, oh, they could just sweep that under the rug. And knowing that, yeah, I'm going to do what I think they would do. I don't think they would take a quarterback here, especially the 4th one off the board. I think they should. I don't think they will. I think that they will go grab tackle 1 off the board for Rodgers Jones, right? The top 3 tackles for me are pretty interchangeable as of right now. I gotta dive deeper into them. Paris Johnson is my favorite as of right now, but I think Broderick Jones makes more sense for the Raiders. Because Josh McDaniels, coming from the Patriots, he likes that type of tackle. That's what they like at the Patriots. A bigger guy coming from Georgia, you know, they like that. He could very easily end up being consensus tackle 1 at the end of this anyway. I just think if they were to take a tackle, which they totally should, that would probably be the direction they lean towards. Now, at number 8, we got Will Levis, all right? Now, that's 4 quarterbacks off the board in the top 8 picks, right? But the Falcons need a quarterback, right? Desmond Ridder, he was drafted in the 3rd last year. I don't want to hear it. Arthur Smith has to be thinking. He has not won yet. He has not proven anything yet. It doesn't matter if some people are convinced he's good, which I kind of am. He does not have job security if he doesn't win again this year, whether that's his fault or not. 3rd round pick is not that high to invest in a quarterback, honestly. And Ridder didn't do that much to, you know, buy himself some time. If Levis is here, it's probably a no-brainer for me, because Arthur Smith and the staff need to get it done soon, or at least show that there's some hope moving forward soon, and they haven't done that yet. So yeah, he's a high upside guy who doesn't have that much good tape in college, but you know what? Guys like that are becoming more and more successful nowadays, so this could work out really well for the Falcons. Then at number 9, I think this is what the Lions had in mind when they moved down. They knew some quarterbacks would go. They had a feeling maybe a tackle would go, and they don't need a tackle. They don't need a quarterback. They need an edge rusher. They need Tyree Wilson. I know James Houston was great, but he still profiles more as like a 3rd down pass rushing type, and Tyree Wilson, as of right now, still has to develop in that way. He has all the potential in the world. He's an absolute freak athlete, and he'll be a great run stopper right away. So honestly, if I'm the Lions, that's perfect. So I got Hutchinson playing on all downs, and you got James Houston coming in on 3rd down. In one of my recent videos, I talked about how I think the Lions are trying to build like the 49ers, and that starts in the trenches. It starts with an elite pass rush, so I think they're gonna go try and grab that. And now at number 10, I got a fun one. I got the Philadelphia Eagles taking Bijan Robinson, right? And some of you might say it's too high for a running back. This is not just any other running back, okay? Bijan Robinson is a lot closer to Saquon Barkley than he is to, say, Najee Harris, you know, who went at number 22. Saquon went at 2, you know what I mean? Not to say Bijan should go at 2 or that he ever would nowadays. I'm just saying he's a phenomenal running back prospect, right? And you'll say, oh, they got Miles Sanders. He's a free agent. And Sanders, honestly, is probably going to try and command around $9 million a year, $10 million a year. And I think Howie Roseman is wise enough to not pay him that. This was his first year really showing that he could be a good running back. And I'm not going to lie to you, I think most running backs could be good behind this offensive line. Bijan Robinson provides so much value to this team, it's crazy. So yeah, for me, this is a no-brainer. I think it would be awesome. And hey, you keep around Miles Sanders, you got the best running back duo in the league, right? Like, that's still an option. Like, that still works, you know? I love this fit, and I'm going to stick by it. At number 11, we got the Titans. I think they're a little dread that they couldn't get in on these quarterback sweepstakes, but you know what? Their team is probably really not ready to draft a quarterback. They need a lot of work. They're going to have to find a sense of direction. And whenever you have to find a sense of direction, I think the best way to start is by is by building your offensive and defensive line. So here we are going to draft Peter Skoronski. Skoronski, he's really strong. He's really good. He has great tape. The problem with him is his arms are kind of short. But you know what? We said that about Rashawn Slater, and look what he ended up being. The Titans obviously need a tackle, but this works really well because they could also kind of use a guard. Even if his arms are too short to play tackle, they could kick him in and still get like a great guard prospect. So this works out for them. They need help on the O-line, and this is the best pick to get that done. All right, so at number 12, the Texans were able to hold on to this pick even after trading with the Bears, and they could go in a lot of different directions. I would say they would probably prefer to go receiver, but the value in this class is not worth the 12th overall pick for a receiver, and so that honestly leaves them with mostly defensive prospects. It would have been great for them to help out Bryce Young here, but they can do that in the second round or the third round. They could figure that out. So for me, I did go back and forth, and I finally landed on Christian Gonzalez. He's a lot of people's corner one. I'm not really sure how I would rank my cornerbacks anymore. They're really good, all of them. They're all really big and fluid like Chris Gonzalez is. And I think this just makes sense for them in a way. They drafted Derek Stingley at number 3 overall last year, and now they get Christian Gonzalez at number 12 overall this year, and that could really develop into being something like special, right? Like that would be fun. Every team wants a strength, you know? It gives them an identity. And the Texans don't have an identity, and they don't have a strength. So sometimes I feel that it's better to make good great. And this is one of those examples. This cornerback room would all of a sudden have the potential to develop into a really highly touted one, and the value is just there. So yeah, they go grab Christian Gonzalez here. So now at number 13, we got the Green Bay Packers with the New York Jets pick. Bye-bye Aaron Rodgers. Hello, Brian Branch, all right? Brian Branch is probably my favorite fit of this whole thing because you got Darnell Savage, right? And Darnell Savage was struggling, but then you put him in the nickel and he was good. He was pretty good. He got hurt. He was good before he got hurt. Adrian Amos also aging. And so you got Brian Branch here, right? He could play safety or he could play nickel. So if Savage is ready to go, healthy, and he's still playing good at nickel, yeah, you know, put Brian Branch back at safety. Maybe Savage emerges. He figures it out. He's good again at safety. Okay, he could go play corner. He can go play slot corner for you. It's awesome. It's fun. And it's totally a Green Bay pick. That defense has the potential to be real nasty, especially if they move on from the defensive coordinator. And adding more talent to that, really, I mean, this completes it to me. This would complete it. I think this would be awesome. It's a great fit. All right, moving on. Number 14, we got the New England Patriots, and their O-line was bad this year. It's struggling. So I'm not going to make a crazy pick. I'm not going to have too much to say about it. I'm grabbing Paris Johnson Jr. You are lucky he fell to you at 14. He is my tackle one. I think he's awesome. I think he's a stud. I think he will be a stud, especially with that good coaching up in New England. You needed it. You got it. You probably got the best one in the class. Pack your bags, move on. You won. Now at 15, we got the Green Bay Packers again. They get 2 picks now, right? And now they got to make Jordan Love's life a little bit easier. And how do you do that? You go grab a tight end. Every young quarterback wants a tight end. I know he's not young anymore, but he's young in terms of snap, right? Every young quarterback wants a good tight end. They don't have one, right? Robert Tonyan, he's really not that good. He's not. He's also a free agent anyway. Michael Mayer, he's good. He's right away way better than Bob Tonyan. Way better. Without positional value being taken into account, Michael Mayer would be talked about a lot higher than 15. I'll tell you that much. It's just that tight ends aren't that valuable. But for a team like this, it doesn't have that many needs, and tight end might be the only weakness, especially with those receivers kind of emerging. He'll be a safety blanket for Jordan Love for hopefully years to come, and they could honestly be something special, the two of them together. So yeah, I love this draft for the Pack. So now at 16, we got the Washington Commanders, and they need a corner. It's almost like the Patriots, right? They need a corner. That's what they got to take. And luckily for them, Devin Witherspoon is on the board. Sorry, I selected him off video. I'm sorry about that, but we got Devin Witherspoon here. And again, it seems very popular right now to either have Christian Gonzalez or Devin Witherspoon as your number 1. He has been a riser as of late. He will continue to be a riser because people expect him to test out freakishly. He's also just got a real good feel for the game, great instincts. And again, yeah, Washington needs it. They just need it. They've needed it for a while, honestly. Hopefully they get a veteran quarterback in the building, and all of a sudden this is a really scary team. At number 17, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they are going to grab Cam Smith. Maybe we got a little run on corners going. I don't know, maybe, right? I don't know. But yeah, Cam Smith is a real long, real fluid athlete. Again, the Steelers just kind of need a corner. They've already said that they don't have any interest in retaining William Jackson, and he was very old anyway. Cam Smith is a great prospect, a great fit. And with another year for Kenny Pickett to continue developing, George Pickens to continue developing, you get that defense shored up and straight and ready to go and be one of the top in the league. And Pittsburgh might be scary again sooner than you guys think. So now the Lions, I know a lot of people would have loved for them to grab a corner, but with 3 off the board, maybe your favorite's gone, right? Maybe you love Witherspoon or Smith or Gonzalez, right? Maybe you love those 3 and you like the other guys, but you don't love them. But you know who you do love? Brian Brzee. You love Brian Brzee and you take him and you do what I've been saying. You build like the 49ers and you get an elite defensive line. Elite. They would be having, this would be so good for them. This would be so fun. It's like what I was saying. You make a strength, you make something great. And they already got one great thing. It's the O-line. Now they get another great thing. It's the D-line. And oh my God, are the Lions scary. Just like that. You know, this is a good corner class, man. They can go grab one in the second round. They can, they should, they will. They can sign one. Free agents want to come to the Lions now. They're good. They're fun. It's a fun culture. They go do this. They go grab the guy who's falling, who can make an immediate impact for them. And man, the Lions would be freaking awesome like this. It would be awesome. They would be so much better if the draft went like this for them. So with 19, we got the Buccaneers, right? The Buccaneers are kind of hard because they honestly have a lot of needs. Man. They might not be good for a while. They're aging. Tom Brady's leaving. I don't know. But a real popular spot has been corner, and I'm gonna go corner. The reason being, Sean Murphy Bunting and Jamel Dean are not locked up. Jamel Dean in particular is going to be commanding a lot of money on the market. Also, they do a good job of coaching these guys up. And that's why I will be grabbing Kelee Ringo. Kelee Ringo is a guy that needs to be coached up more. He is. But he's a freak athlete, and I think the Bucs will value that quite a bit because they're confident in their staff to figure it out with him. This is not going to change the trajectory of the Buccaneers. They're kind of screwed anyway, but it's a good place to kind of figure out where you are. Just take a talented player, man, a talented corner who's going to make your team better and has really, really high upside. At 20, this was an absolute no-brainer for me. We got the Seahawks going with Trenton Simpson. Simpson is a freak, man, and again, he's just like Michael Mayer. If the positional value was higher, he would be going way high. He can stuff the run, he can blitz, he can cover, and I know for a fact Pete Carroll will value that. He will. Jordan Brooks has started to develop, but he's still really not that great against the pass. They kind of need more talent in that linebacking room anyway, because look what happened when he went down. It's just a no-brainer for me, man. Simpson can do so much. You also have Jamal Adams who can do so much. And now you have Miles Murphy, right? Like now you have a lot of fun things you can do schematically. He's an awesome fit for what shapes up to be a pretty awesome team with just a few additions. And I think it works out really nicely. At 21, we get the Chargers going with the first receiver off the board, and that would be Jordan Addison. The narrative on the receivers right now is that they are going to fall. They're not valued that highly by teams. There aren't really any blue chip receivers, that's for sure. Some people like Jordan Addison, some people like Quentin Johnson. I like Jordan Addison better. I also like him better for this scheme. He's a separator, he's fast, and he can go vertical. And honestly, that's all the Chargers have been really hoping for a long time, right? Joe Lombardi's gone. They can unleash the deep game. They can get Justin Herbert throwing those bombs. And who better than Jordan Addison to catch them? He has some drop concerns, but those tend to work themselves out, you know? When you could separate like that, if you're open, you know, that's way more valuable than being able to catch the ball 100% of the time. And yeah, man, he can just hit the jugs and I'm sure he'll be straight, man. He's an all-world athlete, all-world talent. Anybody who's getting drafted as highly is. I think he'd be an awesome fit for a hopefully new-look Chargers offense, an explosive vertical one, maybe. But now at 22, the Ravens also grab a receiver. They grab Quentin Johnson. And to me, even though I just raved about Jordan Addison and said he's better than Quentin Johnson, if the Ravens were picking at 21 instead of the Chargers, they should have taken Quentin Johnson. Because Quentin Johnson is a real good fit for them, in my opinion. He's just a freak. He's just an athlete. He's not really that refined as a route runner, but he can go up and get it. He's fast, he's big, and I don't know, that just sounds so appealing to me. Combined with Rashad Bateman, who's a lot more refined, Devin Duvernay, who's explosive. Now you got this big freakazoid in there. I mean, come on. It's going to be an actually pretty good receiving core with all those three guys, so I like this quite a bit. We all know Ravens need a receiver, especially with Greg Roman leaving, which tells me they're probably going to really try and get it involved more outside the numbers in the passing game. Quentin Johnson can certainly be a great help in that regard. 23, I flirted with the Vikings trading down, with some other teams probably looking to trade up a little bit here, but with Joey Porter Jr. on the board at a position of need for the Vikings, I could not resist. Joey Porter Jr. is great. I think he'll probably go higher, but again, it's really a stacked corner class. I really love him. I fell in love with him pretty quick. He's got that legacy, father in the league, and he can get coached up real nicely by Pat Pete. Vikings definitely got to go defense here. The value is not there on the interior of the defensive line, and it's not there at linebacker. Go grab a corner. You've needed one for a while. They have missed on a lot of cornerback picks. Hopefully this is the one, right? At 24, the Jaguars are very, very upset that Joey Porter Jr. just went. So they are going to have to go down the board a little bit to Emmanuel Forbes, the next corner off the board. And if I'm right, that is the 5th cornerback drafted in this first round. But again, it's just a really good corner class. Emmanuel Forbes is really good too. He's no slouch. He's definitely like a cut below the other 4 guys in my opinion, but he's a great prospect in his own right. The Jaguars definitely need a cornerback. Although Darius Williams has been good, they kind of just need a taller one. And Emmanuel Forbes is 6 foot. That's perfect. That's a great size. He can be a little handsy, but I don't see that being too much of an issue. And he's a playmaker, man. And honestly, that kind of fits the Jags. The Jags are filled with a lot of playmakers, a playmaking type of head coach, if that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They have a knack for finding fun talent. I think they found a fun guy here. And then speaking of fun talent, I got Zay Flowers going here to the Giants, right? And I think this is a perfect fit. A speedy, electric route running type. Yeah, Brian Daboll is gonna love that, man. That's what he likes. That's what he wants. Daboll, as we know, he wants to get involved with crossers down the field. And a lot of routes where receivers are just running away from guys, and Zay Flowers can run away from guys with the best of them. He's got some hand concerns, but I know that will not worry Daboll. He's just gonna be enamored with the physical profile of this guy, honestly. It's the exact type of guy Daboll wants, and it is the exact type of guy Daboll will get in this draft. Now at 26, we got the Cowboys going with Jackson Smith and the Jigba. And I bet you they wish that they had the #1 overall pick so they could get rid of Dak Prescott. But that's to each their own. That's never going to happen. The Cowboys will always be too good. Dak is too good to play that bad. So they're going to help him out again. You know, that's what it is, right? And to be honest, you know, the Cowboys could probably use another option at receiver. Noah Brown has been good, but JSN is a totally different type. He's a pretty much slot predominant type. Might interfere with the way CeeDee Lamb has been playing in the slot. They like to utilize him there to scheme up like safeties and linebackers covering him instead of defensive backs. But Kellen Moore is a smart guy. I'm sure he'll figure it out. He's a little slow. He's a little unexplosive, but he could totally develop into being like a great slot receiver in the league, like an Amon-Ra St. Brown type, right? Like St. Brown is also slow and unexplosive, so it's not all you need, especially if you're like skilled like these guys are. I think he would be a great fit in Dallas. He's used to the spotlight, and yeah, a good team with no true needs. I think you can't really go wrong with just adding a few weapons. So we got the Bills at 27, and this is a dream scenario for them because they can go ahead and grab O'Cyrus Torrence, the best guard in the class. The Bills have needed a guard for maybe the past 4 years, and what's even better is he's kind of a run blocking type, so they can finally start to get some semblance of a run game going here. I think this is an absolute dream scenario for the Bills, and O'Cyrus Torrence could be good enough to save Brandon Beane's job. And if you're curious why I said that, you can go ahead and watch my last video talking about how Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane have failed the Buffalo Bills. At number 28, we got the Bengals, okay? And the Bengals, they don't have any needs. The Bengals are awesome. And we all thought they needed O-line going into this, but I mean, Jesus Christ, they just dominated the Bills, right? They look good now. Jackson Carman, the guy they recently drafted to play tackle, yeah, he went in at tackle finally, and he played better than Jonah Jackson did. I don't think they have a need there anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab Darnell Washington. And the best part about this is Darnell Washington is and of himself kind of like an extra O-lineman. He is 270, 6'7", he's huge, and a mauler in the run game. You can put him in and he can block like George Kittle does, probably, right away. So say you were wrong, say your tackles drop off, well, okay, you will still have somebody help and contribute in the run game, which is very valuable. And he's just a freak. He's got crazy straight line speed, and he's an absolute mismatch nightmare for anybody. He'll run up the seams with the best of them. He'll catch high pointed balls. It'll be great. It'll be just another weapon for the Bengals to use. I think he fits particularly well here, again, because they have such an efficient run game that could kind of use an extra blocker, and because Burrow is so pinpoint accurate and smart that he will be able to find great looks for Darnell Washington. At 29, I am keeping the Denver Broncos picking here. I'm assuming they will not trade for Sean Payton in this mock draft, and I'm going to grab Darnell right tackle. He's my favorite tackle left on the board. I'm pretty sure he did not allow a sack last season. Anton Harrison is good. I just feel that the upside is really limited with him. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's just how I feel. Darnell Wright, I like a little better. The Broncos need to take a tackle. They need to address the O-line if they want any chance of this Russ thing working out. And in this scenario, Darnell Wright is the guy for them. So at number 30, we got the Kansas City Chiefs, and they are going to grab Lucas Van Ness. Lucas Van Ness is projected to be a riser. He might be going way higher in these in like a month or two from now. But for right now, I haven't watched too much of him, so I'm going to keep him at 30. But what I do know is he is the exact type of edge rusher the Chiefs would want. He's a bigger guy. He could kick inside on some pass rushing downs, and it's just a perfect fit. And it pisses me off because the Chiefs just keep getting richer, and they always find a way to get a great player fall to them at 31 or 32 or 30. It's crazy. It's annoying. But yeah, here they get Lucas Van Ness, and he would be awesome for them. He would be an immediate upgrade at their edge rusher position, especially if you consider Frank Clark is going to be just another year older, and George Karlaftis has not really been that great for them. Van Ness is different. He's actually athletic, and he's like a crazy power rusher. I'm really such a stud at it. And yeah, that's what the Chiefs opt to get. They like power rushers, not so much speed rushers. So moving on. 31, the last pick of the first round, the last pick of this draft. The Philadelphia Eagles, to finalize the first round, will be selecting Nolan Smith. Now, Nolan Smith is another guy that might rise, might not. The problem is we haven't seen him play that much, right? He's been injured. However, when he has played, he's been good. He also profiles athletically and physically to be good, and the Eagles just love to draft these edge rushers. It's also worth noting they really don't have that many true like edge rusher 4-3 edge rusher types on the roster, and that might be something they're looking to improve. And at 31, you're kind of going for a guy with upside and potential that fell for this reason or that, not somebody like accurately ranked at 31, you know what I mean? At least that's my philosophy about it, and that definitely applies to Nolan Smith here. It just makes a lot of sense. So yeah, that'll do it, guys. That is my mock draft 2.0. Let me know down in the comments what you agree with, what you didn't. If you liked the video, make sure you check out some of my other videos. I got some pretty good video essays out there. They don't got too many views, so you could be one of the first. You could bless me up. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's it, guys. That's all I got. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Take care and peace out.